All right, so this is going to be the September 11th 911 Tower Challenge. I feel like I'm filming it at Iwo Jima with the American flag in the background here. At American Lake in Washington State. I'm with my father here, retired firefighter, so we'll be asking him a couple questions about what he remembers about September 11th and what his experience working in the fire department is. So. Perfect. So the first question is going to be, what do you remember about September 11th or that morning or subsequent day?
Okay, well, I was going to work that morning.
Okay.
So I was going to work usually starts at 6:30
Okay.
in the morning. So I don't know, maybe about 10 to 6 or so, I was already up and dressed and I was on my computer, just my daily routine, looking through email, whatever. And there was a little news blurb that said that a plane had hit one of the towers.
Okay.
And I didn't think anything of it. I just figured it was just pilot error.
Right.
And so after a few minutes, I got up to get in the car and go to work. And at that time, I was working at the Bel Air station, Station 71. So the car that I had at that time was an old, what was it, the old Toyota. I think it was the gray car.
Yeah.
And the radio was not working. So I couldn't turn the radio on to see any updates on what had happened. And so as I got to work, I came in to the kitchen. That's where everybody was congregating, the shift going off, the shift coming on, which I was. And everybody was talking, and there was a couple painters there because they were painting the station. Everybody was looking at the television, and they're saying, "Oh yeah, this happened." Now the other thing I think the other tower had just also got hit.
Okay.
In the time I was driving to work.
Yeah.
So everybody was talking about it, and I said, "Well, what's the big deal?" It was just pilot error. I didn't know about the other tower.
Right. Second.
And they said, "No, this is a terrorist thing, because 2 planes went into the 2 towers."
Right.
So then I go, "Wow." So then I, got all my gear for the day. Well, we were supposed to have a drill, big battalion drill that day. And so our Captain Mills, had been on the phone with the chief, and the chief canceled the drill. So he told us that we're not going to have that drill. And I thought, well, why is something in New York affecting what we're doing here in Los Angeles? But our station was fairly close to the federal building in West LA. So everybody was on high alert that there could be terrorist attacks in all the major cities. So that's why we weren't going to have the drill. So anyway.
Wow. Okay. And then subsequently after the 9/11 attack, did you have any firefighters that you were close to that had family members back east that actually flew back to home to do any kind of disaster relief? Or did you hear stories about that in the departments around LA?
I didn't know anyone that had family back in New York. I'm sure somebody probably did, probably some either brother or relative, cousin, something that might have been a New York firefighter. But I personally didn't know.
Okay.
But I knew that they would, whenever there's a disaster in a major city, they usually do. We have like teams of search and rescue. County has teams of search and rescue, county fire. So they send people back to whatever city. They send people across the world to other countries to help. Like if there's a cave in or something and people trapped, they'll send people back. So I knew somebody was from our department was going to go back. And people oftentimes will volunteer that have special skills.
Yeah, that's training. Okay. Gotcha. And then even pulling back, I guess, before September 11th, is there a specific moment you recall where you knew you wanted to become a firefighter and kind of pursue that path? Or what was the spark to do that in the first place?
Well, I came on the job in 1973. Before that, I was doing just some clerical work at an insurance company, and somebody there got into an accident. And so I went out to see them, and they were in the hospital in the valley, which is, I was living in Los Angeles then, so it was maybe a 20-minute drive. So I went out there and I saw ambulances coming in for the fire department, and I thought, wow, that looks like something that's worthwhile. It had more excitement than what I was doing.
Insurance, yeah.
So I wanted to get on the fire department, and I wasn't sure then I wanted to be a firefighter, but I wanted to get on the fire department, be at least an EMT and a paramedic. And the the big thing at that time was the show Emergency, which profiled, big show I had watched. So that kind of got me. This I thought would be an opportunity. So then I started pursuing that career.
Okay. Very cool.
Doing the classes I need to do,
Yeah.
and getting in touch with people that could help me get there. So, yeah.
And prior to me opening you in on this endeavor, had you heard of the 911 Tower Challenge, Tower Foundation, or any of that?
I didn't know about the specifics of the organization, but I knew that downtown in LA they had a couple of high-rise buildings that they used to have if you want to call it a challenge or something, but they would have not just firemen, but the ones I heard about were the firemen that it's like 110 stories or something. They go up and race each other and stuff like that. I never did it, but yeah.
Okay.
I was aware of that, and I guess it's open to everybody that wants to do it.
Yeah, it sounds like a very similar thing from the 911 Foundation that I've heard of, because it is 110 story. Usually you wear some kind of rucksack or something to honor the firefighter. So that's kind of the purpose of this challenge, I suppose. Do you think there is a particular best way to honor fallen military members or fallen firefighters for this country? Is it a monetary donation? Is it some kind of historical post, or like I think you had mentioned something about Congress before? Is there a specific way you can think of that would be appropriate to honor fallen firefighters?
I think, monuments are good. They could always accept donations to widows and orphans funds, maybe donations for, where Congress can get involved is to, appropriate funds for, medical care, increase the medical care for people that have gone through these kinds of things because of all the subsequent health issues due to breathing and all that stuff.
Right.
All the, I don't know that much about construction, but all the debris just got in people's lungs, and they were getting all kinds of cancers and things like that. So, yeah.
No, definitely. Yeah. Okay. So, I know Jon Stewart was real big about lobbying Congress to kind of take care of the long-term health effects, right? So
yeah, I remember hearing about what he did.
Yeah, so I think pushing that as well. And then how does your experience of being a firefighter influence your participation in the Tower Challenge in September? Is there anything more significant about it because of that, or what are your thoughts on it?
No, not necessarily, but since you invited me to do this, that's right. I had never done it before.
Yeah, but he's a big walker. He walks every day.
Yeah,
so
I walk.
What is your typical fitness routine now that you're retired? What would you say is your weekly?
I do 8 miles a day.
Okay.
But I don't always run those 8 miles. Okay. On Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, I run part of the 8 miles. But I do that every day, and then. The volunteer work I do, I get a little low-level, strength training, changing the big Sparklets bottles for them.
Nice, the water, 5-pound, 10-pound water jugs, yeah.
And then on the weekends at the church, lifting the tables, putting the tables together for our meetings and taking them down, stuff like that. But I know I should do more.
Were you always one of the more consistent firefighters at different stations with doing physical things, or what would you say? How did you rank in the?
I was probably towards the upper end.
Okay.
I mean, I wasn't fanatical about it. But the good thing about the fire department, part of the being on the fire department, is physical training. I mean, they encourage you to do some sort of exercise, whether it's walking, running. We used to, when I was at that station 71s, we used to go to UCLA track, and we could run the track or do the stairs. Then most stations have their own weights, free weights, weight machines. They might have a treadmill. They might have a elliptical. So they're, and it just depends. If you're in a station with younger guys, they're going to be more. You're kind of like you. Yeah. They're always, when they're not studying or on a call, they're going to be doing weights and all that kind of stuff. So
trying to get after it.
Yeah.
Very cool. And then kind of wrapping up here, what message would you hope to convey to families of fallen firefighters or to the community at large through your participation in the 911 Tower Challenge this year?
Well, I would just say, thank you for those that were unfortunate that had a family member die in any kind of event like that, or any just a regular fire, structure fire, or explosion or something like that. Our hearts go out to you. Thank you for, it's a hard road to miss someone that you cared so much about, loved, and everything. But you do have family in the fire department, just like the military. So, always know that. The fire department's really good about widows and orphans and taking care of people.
Any final words or wrap-up thoughts, Dad, before we close the interview there?
No, not really. I appreciate that all you're doing to put the spotlight on this. And hopefully.
That's right. 100%. Thanks again, Dad. Appreciate you as always. And that was it. Look forward to the video coming out. I'll display it all together and get the challenge done. So he's going to do it in Santa Monica, California, where I grew up, and they have their house and stuff. So I'll do mine in Washington, and then we'll put the whole thing together and put that on YouTube. So thank you for watching, and until next one, take care. All right. Officially, the last rep of the 911 Tower Challenge. This will be 40, 2,400 steps, 110 stories plus. Let's get it. Shout out to all the firefighters. From my dad, Jordan Ryan, Jeff Tinsley, John Tinsley, Josh Lawrence, all the guys in the 116th, Colton Rintala, y'all a bunch of badasses. All the real firefighters. Justin Robinson, wildland firefighter, I did a little stint with. Y'all fucking badasses. Let's do it. Last one. Come in here. Going strong. Going strong. Rep. Gotta leave some in the tank. Just enough to get through. TriumFit challenge. Try it. Yeah, buddy. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, everybody. We did it. We did it. We did it. Oh, this ruck's coming off. This is horrendous. This is horrendous, but the view is amazing. Oh God. All right, that's done. Till the next one, Veterans Day. Peace.